Hi everyone, welcome to Zero to One by Doerscircle. This is a weekly event that Doerscircle organizes every week, in fact, twice a week. And this Thursday we have Sharath Sriram from Zoho. And Sharath is the Senior Key Account Manager at Zoho. Sharath, welcome to Zero to One.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. Pleasure to be here.
And also, we would like to welcome all the participants here as well. All right, Sharat, so we'll get started.
Sure.
Maybe we start with an introduction about yourself, a bit about yourself, your career a bit, and what you do at Zoho, so that everyone knows who you are.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So, firstly, I'm extremely honored to be part of the Zero to One series by Doerscircle in the episode 56. I think in India, there is 56 equals Chappan in Hindi, and there's a very popular film that's called Ab Tak Chappan. So I think congratulations to Yashas and this Doer Circle team for completing 56 episodes of this series. Wonderful work with all of your guests who have been in this episode till now, and then sharing all their insights, and then all the good work that you've been doing it for the community. So really good job. And then we are at Zoho are very happy to be associated with Doerscircle as a partner. Um, let me quickly introduce myself. So I'm Sharath, and I've had overall about 14 years of experience in the IT industry. I started off as a developer, as a programmer with a Canadian IT firm initially, and then I slowly switched to a more of a functional management role there. And then I started off in Zoho in the year 2017 when I was onboarded as a associate business development uh, executive at that time to manage partnerships. And from then till now, throughout my tenure at Zoho, I've been managing various kinds of partnerships with huge telecoms, huge technology providers, GSI providers, partners of various kinds in terms of vertical partnerships, affiliate partnerships, alliance partnerships, and all of that. And over these years, so I have had a lot of experiences going to traveling to different countries, meeting different uh, business people, customers, partners, and I've gathered a lot of insights working in the SaaS industry over these years. And I'm happy to share some of the insights that I've learned over these years, and also some of my views on the current industry trends, where is it heading, and what you as either a freelancer or a startup can actually, how you can ride the current wave, technology wave. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sharath. And maybe you can take the screen sharing off, and then when you want to share the slides, you can share.
Sure. Yeah.
Then both of us will appear on the screen. Sharath. All right. Maybe just to get a start, Sharath, it's good to know who you are and what you do, and then it's impressive what you do there at Zoho. And maybe we also introduce the company Zoho as to what you do, at least in the current state. We'll also go back in our conversation as to what your journey was, how the company was built, and the principles and philosophy. But maybe just to start off, you can share what the company does and what your product portfolio is like.
Sure. So Zoho is a technology company. So we have two different divisions. One is the Zoho Corporation itself, and then we also have something called Manage Engine, our IT management division. So at Zoho, we are a cloud business software suite provider, and so we offer uh, business applications completely on the cloud. So we call it SaaS, software as a service. So customers subscribe to our application. They initially come, you start using it on a trial, and then they purchase it and then use it either as a monthly or a yearly subscription. And so we have plenty of business apps, literally for every business need. So our entire suite itself is called the operating system for business. So name the software category, be it sales and marketing or email collaboration, project management. So we have either an app or an app bundle that can fulfill that particular need. And so this Zoho, it was initially started as AdvinNet in the year 1996. And it was in the year 2005 when the name of the company was changed into Zoho Corp. And we came up with our first set of products, CRM and Writer. And over the years, we've kept adding newer and newer products. And as of today, we are almost 60 plus apps strong, and almost 130 million users use Zoho. And so we've over the years, we've gained the trust of almost 300,000 plus organizations around the world who've been using our products. And we are a very strong player in the market. And so we are well on the way to become one of the top 5 technology companies globally. That's the way we are headed. And even in India, in the last few months, you would have seen plenty of news coverage around our Aratai messaging app as well. So we are making a lot of noise in the Indian market as well. And so historically, we've most of our business has come from US, Europe, and more of the English-speaking markets, followed by Australia, Japan, and all of that. And then India was always one among the 5, but India is is one of the fastest growing regions for us currently. And Southeast Asia is also a very important market for us. And so even in Singapore, we have an office in Cecil Street. The Singapore region is headed by a person called Jibu. So he's the complete regional manager of Singapore region. And so we are in it for the long run, completely bootstrapped, private. And so we're not a fly-by-night startup by any stretch. So it's a very firm technology company that's in it for the long run.
Sharath, thank you very much. Maybe if we go back to the start of the company, Sharath, you
Yeah.
started, I believe, 30 years ago or thereabouts.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
at the time, SaaS probably wasn't a thing, right? So
Yes.
maybe we
Yes.
talk about the original objectives of the company, the direction at the time, and how you kind of progressed through that and kind of transitioned into a SaaS technology company.
Yes. Yes. So earlier in the initial years, we were actually providing software for telecom equipment manufacturers in the initial stages from 1996 till 2000. So at that time is when we had the dot-com crash, and suddenly all of our customers, major customers in the telecom space, completely disappeared, right? And then we had to move from there. For a few years, we were into the application management realm. And it was only in the year 2005 that we saw a very serious opportunity shaping up in the CRM space. And that's why we had first launched our very first SaaS product in Zoho CRM in the year 2005. At that time, and then maybe in a like 4 or 5 years time itself, Zoho CRM like grew multifold, and it was seriously competing with the giants in the space like Salesforce, Oracle, NetSuite, etc. And so it was that initial foothold that we got in the market with a product like CRM that enabled us to launch further adjacent products as well, like the helpdesk software and also the email and collaboration suite after that. And once we reached that critical stage in the year 2017 is when our growth completely, from then on, it was like a Chinese bamboo, right? So for years, the growth is subdued, and then you can literally see it grow after that. So from year 2017 onwards, we started doubling very, very fast. And so from then on till now, so the growth has been at a very rapid pace. And so as of now, so the Zoho Suite is one of the most used and adopted software around the world.
Right. And Sharath, there are lots of new trends and
Yeah.
further evolution of the tech industry, right? And you still remain to be a SaaS company. Maybe you can talk about the current trends of the industry evolution, and in that context, what Soho's kind of future direction is like.
Sure. Maybe I can share you this. So is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, yes. So this is something that I read on the internet quite recently, and it kind of is synonymous with Zoho's growth as well. So from 1990 onwards till today, over the last 40 years, right? So this clearly maps out how enterprise software has evolved over these years. That initially it was all about on-premise software, the Microsoft
Mhm.
of the world. So it was completely software that was deployed in the client premises, and then customers had to pay for a perpetual license. The Adobes, the SAPs, Oracles of the world. They're from 1990 and at least till the mid 2000s. So they were ruling the roost in terms of software. And it was in the mid 2000s is when, and then the dot-com bubble had crashed. A lot of companies went out of business. And it was in the mid 2000s when cloud was seriously starting to form shape. And it was in the year 2010 is when companies started to move to the subscription model because the on-premise model was starting to get fatigued at some point. And from year 2010 onwards, till about 2020, it was a rocket ship for all kind of subscription-based companies like the Dropbox, ServiceNow, Salesforce, all of those companies started to offer subscription-based models, and Zoho at that time was aptly placed to grow along with the curve as well. And so, software eats the world term was coined by Anderson Horowitz, right? So, and everything, anything, and everything was getting like software. Softwareized, and then everything was moving to the cloud. And it was then in the year 2020 is where the pandemic hit, and suddenly there was a lot of demand for remote tools, right? Because everyone were just stuck inside their homes, and then they had to communicate across the world and then get work done from one place to the other. And at that time there was this huge bubble that came for SaaS based applications, and that is when the AI boom also took off in the year 21 or 22, right? And we are at this time now in the year 2025 where it's more about sustainable SaaS, right? All these uh, single product companies, they are slowly, their runways are getting shorter and shorter. It's only about who offers a full integrated suite of apps can really thrive in the current scenario where customers are looking for trusted vendors with whom they can do business, right? So and in parallel, the AI agent and AI autonomous systems is also taking shape, right? So in terms of evolution itself, from where we were to where we are, I think the rate of acceleration of change in technology is quite rapid. And literally every 2 years or 3 years, we are seeing newer and newer technology that's coming up. So we as a company are also transforming ourselves for the new AI space, the AI realm. And so in the coming months and years, you will see a lot more of our updates as well from the AI perspective. Yeah.
Sharath, you mentioned that there's a challenge for smaller products if they're like kind of standalone, but
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they offer a broad spectrum of services, there's a better chance, right? Um, does that mean like companies are going to get amalgamated and like more broader platforms are going to come up as
yeah.
opposed to tools that do smaller specific tasks?
Yes, yes. A lot of consolidation is happening, and
Hmm.
customers are also moving from uh, a SaaS is very much going to thrive, so that there's no, it's not going anywhere. But customers are also looking for like a pay per outcome or a pay per usage kind of model. So they come exactly with a certain requirement, and then they're looking for exactly which vendor can help them solve that requirement of theirs, right? So with AI and all of these cloud Replit and all of those kind of software, I think building a software or the cost of building a software has become next to nothing now, right? So the feature copying and everything with AI, everybody can do it right now. So it's only those who can deeply understand the requirements of a customer. Only those will emerge as winners in this kind of space. And naturally, we are going to see a lot of consolidation that is happening as well.
We have a couple of questions coming through the chat,
Sure, sure.
Sharath, but I'll still ask one more question while you have the screen up on the AI age.
Yeah,
There was discussion a few months back that SaaS is going to be challenged with AI coming up, and SaaS is dead was a term or a statement that was stated or mentioned as well. How do you see AI is going to play out with SaaS platforms?
Yeah, so SaaS is not dead by any means or any stretch of
Mhm.
imagination. It's just transforming itself for the AI world. See, ultimately, all the consumer grade AI tools that people are using, and then they're all based on data that is available in the public domain, right? So we say A plus B equal to C, like AI
Mhm.
plus business intelligence equals contextual intelligence, CI. That's what we say. So only if AI is combined with actual business intelligence can a company actually get more contextual kind of intelligence, right? So that core business intelligence is provided only by these SaaS tools. So going forward, SaaS is going to take a completely different shape. Maybe the erstwhile legacy SaaS applications, they might not get that much of a mileage going forward, but SaaS as a concept itself is going to take on a different shape, like more like a pay per usage kind of models will start to appear more and more.
And would AI agents be a core part of products like yours, like rather than employees or staff or users doing certain things on the platform, they use AI agents provided by a platform like Zoho, so things are a lot more automated than they are now?
Yes, absolutely. So we also as a company have started to think the end user is not always a human that is using it. So they could be agents who are using the software and everything. But with all of this comes privacy as well, right? So because we can't just let random agents just access business critical information. So and that's where Zoho, in general, has a very highly principled approach or stance towards data security and privacy. And so we are having all the guardrails in place in order to ensure all these agents and the agent marketplace is in a way that it throws accurate information, because there is we are seeing some hallucination also happening with some of these AI tools. So we want to avoid, because customers rely on the data that's like generated through these business applications every day, and so we want to maintain some kind of accuracy in terms of what is provided for the end user. So we are taking our time to get there, but we want to get it right. I mean, if you just look at it in the current AI space. So we are not, we can't throw money like all these big firms do, because we are completely a bootstrap company. But like whatever is required for our own customers is what currently we are prioritizing, and then all these nice to have features in terms of all these agentic capabilities will slowly arrive in due course.
Sharath, you mentioned a couple of times that you are a bootstrapped company. There's
Yeah.
no VCs involved, etc. And then we have lots of founders joining today. And also, once this goes online, founders and startups do refer to this content. So maybe it's a good idea to share some details about the founders, their original thought process with starting Zoho, so that people kind of can relate to how founders went about building Zoho.
Sure. So in the year 1996 is when, of course, Sridhar Vembu, he's the founder of Zoho Corporation, along with a person named Tony Thomas. So in the year 1996 is when he was actually working in Qualcomm in the US. And then, so when he, along with his brother Kumar Vembu, when they were actually visiting some kind of neighborhood shops or something, they were looking at a lot of these products, and it was made in China was there, made in the US was there, made in Japan was there, and none of the products had a made in India stamp. And that kind of like hit a very very strong note inside them, saying, why can't we build products from India for the world, right? So, and at that time, when a lot of people or entrepreneurs were migrating from east to west to build in the Silicon Valley, they actually did a reverse by actually coming from the US and then to India and setting up a company here for like generating employment opportunities for Indian engineers to ensure that we build products in a very sustainable way, and following all the right principles, software development principles, and still build some products that are world-class that can be used by customer from any part of the world. So that was the original goal. And in terms of external funding, that is something right from day one till now, our founders have been very, very, very clear that we will not take even a single dollar of external funding, precisely because the day we start doing that, we either have to be answerable to VCs for every dollar that is spent, or to the Wall Street for quarter to quarter targets, right? So we as a company wanted to retain some kind of freedom in terms of the applications that we present, and also the kind of R&D spend that we do for our products, and that has completely guided us in our principles to actually fully stay bootstrapped and then private as well. So and that stance till now has paid a lot of dividends, and so we are able to have complete control over the kind of infrastructure spend or R&D spend or even resource spend that we do for every single engineering or business decision that we make.
Thank you very much for that. I think sounds like a value-driven company, and then you have strong philosophy behind what you do. Maybe it's also a good point to talk about the philosophies that you stand by. When I
Sure.
went through your website and some of the material, you actually speak a lot about some of those principles in terms of privacy, in terms of investment. Maybe we can discuss some of those as well.
Sure, Ashish. I'll just take the audience to some of them. Yeah. So in terms of principles, right? So we have three guiding principles for us. So one is cultural continuity, because we believe culture is the only durable capital. Because everything else, the resources or even the profits or whatever that is, it's all time bound. Only the culture, the organization culture, has some kind of continuity that from the day one till now we've always strongly believed. And endless reinvention, we keep iterating on our products and ensure that there is continuous improvement as well. So these are some of the core principles that actually drive us as a company. And we follow in something called transnational localism, right? So we have to be locally rooted and at the same time globally connected. So literally every important region of ours has a Zoho office, and that caters to the customers in the regions, right? And if you look at some of our offices as well, so they won't be in the CBD or right in the center of the city or anything like that. So it will be in the outskirts or in any remote part of the city and all of that. So all the savings that we get through this saving on real estate is something that we pass it on to our customers as well. So this has been our approach. So only build, not acquire. So over all of these years, every single app, every single line of code has been built, and none of it has been acquired. We did not till now acquire any smaller company and then attach those products to us.
Mhm.
Everything has been built in house, and all the cash flow that we generated, at least 60% is plowed back into the business in the form of R&D. And we don't spend a lot on sales and marketing, because we believe a good product, if you build, the users will come. So that will sell for itself. And all the additional profits that we make, we actually put it back into the business. We are completely bootstrapped, and it has been a consistently profitable company ever since we started from day one. So why choose Zoho? Like, we provide the most comprehensive business suite in the industry. And so it is a fully unified software. And over the years, the number of new products that we've kind of put out has started to come down. But how tightly integrated it is and the way the applications are knitted with each other, we are putting more and more focus on that. So like, we want to live by the word that says Zoho is an integrated, unified software. Right? And we're completely transparent with our pricing. So we do not put that contact sales or anything like that on the website. So every single product of ours, we completely are transparent with the pricing that is there on the website. And like I even earlier said, we have a highly principled approach or stance towards data privacy and security, and it's embedded in our business values. So these are some of the data protection laws that we are compliant with around the world. These are some of the compliance certificates that we have we've got it from all of those major security audit firms. And we're also expanding our solar footprint as well. So all of our data centers, everything consumes a lot of energy, and then we are actually setting up our own farms where we have these energy that is being deployed across all of these data centers.
And
Yeah.
just
So
one question on data centers. Are
yes,
they
yes.
all in India or are they spread across the
No, no,
world?
no. They're spread across the world. So maybe I can just
Okay.
go to an earlier slide. Yeah. So if you look at it, our offices are all over the world, and then we have data centers in literally every major business region as well. And in India, we have a data center in Mumbai, and then we have plans to open up more data centers around the world. So we don't want that to be kind of a limitation or uh, or a hassle or a hindrance for any customer to choose us, because we respect customers' data, and then we also are the firm belief that okay, it has to be in your shore within their country borders. So that we are very particular about that, and then we are opening up more and more data centers as well.
Right. Sharath, why do you have that slide up on the locations itself?
Yeah.
Your HQ is Chennai, right? Was Chennai selected because the founders came from Chennai, and the reason to kind of stick to Chennai because most tech companies either go Silicon Valley or within India, it's Bangalore or a larger city. Maybe we talk about why and how you stick to Chennai and how you manage to grow a business, a global business like yours, from a city like Chennai.
Yeah, yeah. So for two reasons. One, like you said, the founders are based in Chennai, and then it was very natural that we started in Chennai. And second is that the B2B is something that is a very strong aspect in Chennai compared to software
Okay.
itself. So if you look at pure software expertise, like
Mm-hmm.
pockets like Bangalore or Gurgaon or Hyderabad, or even some of those other Mumbai or anywhere, you might
Mm-hmm.
find like comparatively more software engineers there on all of that. But in terms of completely B2B based kind of expertise, I think Chennai, it's a very less known fact that, okay, we have a lot of expertise in terms of B2B, right? So, and that naturally lent itself to actually the founders opening in Chennai. And that actually worked out well for us. And currently, now, like Chennai itself is called the SaaS capital of India. Because Zoho, our existence itself has led to so many of the other SaaS firms as well to have originated in Chennai currently. So I think we're one of the pioneers to have started initially, but now it's almost become the SaaS capital.
I see. If you don't mind, can I ask for a few other companies operating out of Chennai?
Yes, yes. Yes. We have some a company called Freshworks that also is a
Yeah.
major SaaS provider based
Yes.
out of
Yes.
Chennai. And then we have ChargeBee, and then we have Survey Sparrow. We have Kissflow, and all of these companies are Chennai based, and they're all SaaS firms that are doing well.
Okay. Thank you. And did you have a couple of more slides to show on the philosophy standards that side, Sharath? Or
No, no, no. I think from the philosophy perspective, that's what I had. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
sure. Thank you. I have a couple of questions that has come through chat to me.
Sure.
First one is more on the growth itself. Sharath, what was the most important driver behind Soho finally starting to grow fast and doubling year over year?
Yeah. So I think the moment we started adding more and more tools and offering an integrated suite rather than standalone applications, right? So that is when we started to grow really fast. In the year 2017, our launch of Zoho One, our
Mhm.
integrated suite with all of the Zoho applications combined,
Mm,
and then we offered like an all employee price that is
mm,
extremely competitive, and it was so affordable that literally every small business found so much value in going over an integrated suite rather than a point product. The moment we started a suite called CRM Plus is when we understood the power of bundles, like what a bundle of tools can do rather than a standalone
mm.
application. And then once we started offering more and more bundles, and when we eventually launched an all-in-one suite, is when the market seriously started to take notice of of us as a company. And today, but for Microsoft, I don't think of any vendor who offers such a broad suite of applications at this depth. At such an affordable price for the end customers. I think that was the tipping point. Yashish.
Mhm. And Sharath, do you still tend to sell more of the bundled products, the product than the individual products?
Yes, I can say that. So our bundle
Mm,
products are more popular among customers, but
mm,
there is a big space for point products as well. For example, a product like Zoho Sign uh,
mm.
is something that is very specific to a use case, right? Document signature. So there are like enough or more opportunities for these point products as well to make it really big. So there are huge markets that are there. So if you just were to give an example, the entire team of or the company of DocuSign itself is at least 10 times more than the number of people that we have as part of Zoho Sign team. But the market is that big. So if a small product like Sign can actually achieve that kind of a scale, then you can imagine some of the other categories as well. So there is enough room for it to coexist, both these standalone applications as well as these product bundles.
Maybe a related question to that, Sharath, you work in partnerships and I believe you work closely
Yes.
with your sales teams as well.
Yeah.
How does it work with sales when you're also kind of selling a broader product, but you also sell those point products, as you call them, like individual smaller products? Is it easy for sales teams to handle these multiple products, or is it easier for them to deal with one large product?
Yeah, it completely depends on the business size as well, because
Right.
all these very small firms like 5 or 10 member firms, they generally like to get started with 1 or 2 products, get
Right.
learn the ropes, and then move on to bundles or the all-in-one suite. Whereas a
Mm-hmm.
good-sized firm or even a 300 400 member firm, so who are mostly tech savvy and already very familiar with these SaaS applications, so the learning curve is much more easier for those kind of companies, and then sending a bundle to those kind of firms is relatively easy compared to some of these smaller firms. So it like I said, it completely depends on the size of the business.
Right. All right. I have few more questions coming through. I'll ask the second question. Sharath, what would your top three advice be to early stage SaaS companies today? Of course, you've learned over time. You started kind of somewhere else and then transitioned into SaaS and kind of grew in SaaS and still grow in SaaS. But if someone was to start today, what would be your advice being in this business?
Yeah. So firstly, I would say go for an MVP that has a bare minimum features, and then get it to market. Although don't always aim for a fully functional, fully ready product for a specific market, right? Because the market would have moved by that time already. So it's important to get uh, your product to some kind of shape, and then offer it to customers, and then get feedback from the market in real time, and then start to offer more and more features and then make it more of a rounded product. So uh, don't try to ensure that all your 1.0 version should have all the bells and whistles that is expected from customers. Yeah, customers understand that what it takes to build products, so they will be happy to use a product that is not fully ready. It could be buggy or anything like that, but at least when they see promise, they will invest in you as a business. So that is something that I would strongly say. And to ensure, I wouldn't say ensure, but it's better to stay bootstrapped, because that freedom is always there for you as a company to innovate. Although in the current situation, or in the current scenario, being bootstrapped is very hard, but I would say you can bite the bullet and then still remain that, because the level of freedom that it gives you as a company is unmatched and cannot be explained. And three, always be open to uh, partnerships or integrations with adjacent technology firms, right? So like always, the 1+1 is more than 2, right? So if your offering can actually work much better in tandem with some of the other adjacent segment, and offer it as a product bundle solution that customers find more of a value in, then
Mhm.
it's very imperative that okay, you actually look for these alliances or these tech partnerships that you can establish with some of the other tech vendors, right? So that's also becomes equally important. So I think this is some of the advice that okay, I've learned over the years that I think I can share to your
Right.
community.
And there's another question that has come through, Sharath. Do you largely focus on marketing and product-led growth versus sales-led growth, especially in the early days to acquire small businesses?
Yes, yes. Oh, it's completely product-led growth. So the product
Mm-hmm,
is what does the talking, and
mm-hmm,
it's the product ultimately that wins. So that's why we focus a lot of effort on getting that product right. So it's a completely engineering driven company, and people take a lot
mm-hmm,
of pride in the products that they've actually built. So we have a huge army of salespeople as well, but
mm-hmm,
mostly the strategy and all the direction, everything is done by the product manager. So they have a lot of autonomy in terms of how they want to shape a product. And although Zoho is one company, the way we operate is kind of in a federated manner, right? So there is
mm-hmm,
this center of excellence for email and associated tools, and there's a center of excellence for the sales tech, and similarly there's a center of excellence for marketing tech. And so they keep analyzing the market, they keep doing more and more research, they talk to customers and all of that. So since we are kind of federated in that way, they themselves come up with more and more additional capabilities for their own products, and that kind of decides the future of the product as well. And it and no, sometimes it also is sales driven, because not all products will get the equal kind of mind share or market share eventually with customers. So we'll have to take a tough call to ensure that, okay, we have to prioritize certain products over some of the other products, but at no point we actually kind of give up on any of our products or anything like that, because some product, even though it might not have an immediate market need now, maybe in future down the line or 4 or 5 years later, right, that can actually immediately spring up. For example, Aratai itself was actually started in 2021 back then, or only now currently 2025, when we actually see a need for indigenous communication software from India, is when we actually realize the power of how it is, and of the of power of the market timing as well, right? So and that's precisely why operating independently, bootstrapped, we can allow these kind of experiments to actually take place naturally. So otherwise, then we'll have to be answerable for every single product line, and then whether it's profitable, whether it's getting the desired sales, and then we'll have to shelve certain products if we are venture funded or if we are in the public market. So this allows us that freedom as well.
Thank you. I also want to go back on the sales
Yes.
organization. Is this sales kind of driven from India, or do you actually have sales team across the globe, because you have multiple offices around the world as well? And how does the sales function work? Only reason I ask is we have founders here who dream about building a company like yours. So if you can talk about sales, because that's one of the biggest hurdles for a startup, right? How to get your first customer, and once you get the first customer, how to get big scale customers, etc. So sales is a challenge, right? So maybe we speak a bit more about how your sales work. Obviously, a startup and your sales, I do get that they are different. So still, some learnings maybe they can get from you as well.
Yes, yes. So when we started off, we did all the sales from India only. And then once, like I said, when we started taking the transnational localism kind of approach, when once we started setting up offices everywhere, we actually started hiring salespeople locally for a few reasons. One,
Mm-hmm.
always customers, when they see a known face or someone who they can relate to,
Right.
or they can see that, okay, someone is most trusted, so they naturally tend to, that relationship forming becomes a lot more easier when they see a familiar face. And also the salespeople also understand the local kind of, that local knowledge is very strongly there, right? So they understand what it is that the customers there might actually expect, or what is it that customers usually prefer, or which features they use more prominently that they can highlight in their sales pitches. And also getting to meet the customer at their office premises and everything also becomes easier when they are closer to the customer in the same location and all of that, right? So all of this naturally aligns to our sales now being distributed across the world, and we are completely regional. So we have a sales and support person in literally every single country that the most business like domain or business district around the world. So we do have like a sales presence and also a support presence, because at any point if a customer requires our help, we want to ensure that okay, it's immediately available in a timely way.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sharath, and you've been quite frank in your explanations, and I think it's really helpful to our audience because our audience has individuals who want to build things like Zoho, companies like Zoho, and you being upfront and deep in your explanations. I think it's really helpful, and that's appreciated.
Yeah.
The next question is, what's the biggest market for you for Zoho? Is it the home market in India or is it the US or what's your
No,
biggest market?
US is our biggest market, followed
Right.
by because when we initially started, the market for SaaS, especially in US, was pretty ripe. The market readiness was very high in the
I
US
see.
at that
I
time,
see.
and
Mhm.
followed by Europe, UK, and then Australia, India in that kind of order is what in terms of region focus. But India in the last few years has grown by leaps and bounds, and so we've got some really big wins in India in the last couple of years in the BFSI space, in the automotive space, and in some of the other real estate and other domains as well. And so we are really taking some big strides in India as well.
Right. And because you sell around the world, Sharath, is pricing kind of standardized across the world, or is it also localized pricing? So pricing in the US is one, pricing in India, pricing in Singapore is different, in Australia is different. Is that how it works, or is it more
Yes, yes,
standard
yes.
price?
Yeah, the pricing is determined based on the purchasing power, as well
Hmm.
as the local currency. For example, in Kenya, we actually charge the customers only in their local currency, the M-Pesa, in that currency, because for two reasons. We want to make it easier for customers to pay in their own currency, and we will our payment teams will figure out how to do the conversions, or how to ensure the exchange rate and all of that is actually sorted and everything. But we don't want to pass on that headache to our customers, so we in any part of the world we actually allow customers to pay in their own currency, and then we offer the product to them only based on their own purchasing power and all the other factors as well.
Thank you very much, Sharath. And for anyone who has a question, a burning question, please do ask either through chat directly to me. That's what I've been getting from quite a few of you. Or you can also use the Q&A thread, but we only have like 10 more minutes left. So if you have any last few questions, you can fire them away. There's one question here, Sharath. The bootstrapped model is super inspiring because you're not kind of dependent on anyone. You're not transferable, which is great. It's inspiring. And the question is, has that been possible due to a huge home market? Say, have you, in that sense, benefited by being an Indian founded company because the market in India potentially is pretty big? That's a question. But I'm also thinking as the way you explained, initially India wasn't a big market, although it was your home location for development. Your markets were in the
Yeah,
US and elsewhere. So maybe
that's right.
partly
That's right.
you have already answered, but I'll still ask the question because someone else asked that question.
Yes, yes, that is true. So since we were in India and our focus completely was getting the product right and everything, so we were absolutely very, very sure that it has to be bootstrapped, and only we only grow once we have a significant chunk of customers already that we've served, right? So as and when we started getting more and more customers, we actually put it and plowed it back into the business. So there were kind of temptations to just like go for a venture capital or something like that, but we kind of resisted all of that, and acquisition offers came in from some of the big tech wigs as well, whether they would want to acquire us as well. So but throughout we actually like built it for a completely different purpose, and so we were absolutely sure that okay, we were in it for the long run, and that kept our thing very, very solid. And so if I were to just give you an example, maybe I'll just share my screen as well. people think Zoho is just a suite of apps, right? So, but the entire stack is actually built in house, right? From the lower networks to data centers, till the servers, the storage apps, everything is actually built in house by our own team. So all this kind of thing, it actually completely cuts out the bloat, and all that is actually we are able to pass on that savings to our customers. So it is not easy to do all of this with own in a single company, but we were very sure that we have to do it. So even like a couple of days back, you saw how there was an outage by a major tech provider, because of which so many businesses around the world, it was completely crippled, right? So that is the kind of over reliance that businesses have come to realize, that okay, we can't put all the eggs in one basket, and if one company just turns off the tap, then our business completely vanishes, right? So like businesses are also starting to see the value of that, right? So right from day one, we were very, very sure that any kind of like technology that we provide as a company, it has to be built in house. It could be a server, or it could be anything. It could be any of these apps. It has to like originate from our own teams, and that is when we can actually pass on the complete value to these customers.
Thank you, Sharath. I've covered all the questions that came through the chat thread. I just see one question that came as a Q&A question. What's culture for employees like? What's the culture for employees like? I remember in the early part of the presentation, you mentioned about the culture being something that continues, and then you want to make sure culture continues, and some of the other things may not continue.
Yeah.
Maybe that also did kind of talk about, or at least indicate the culture that you have internally for employees. Maybe we touch on the company culture you have for teams, your employees, your colleagues, because managing a company of this size cannot be done if you don't have satisfied employee base as well,
True.
right? So
True.
18,000 employees is
Yes.
what
Yes.
you have.
Yes.
And then maybe some of the principles in there, what the culture is like, how you manage this workforce.
Yes, yes. So one thing that we look for in our employees is a very strong can-do attitude, because that is very, very important. Because skills, all that can be trained. It is very easily transferable, but attitude and that kind of fire in the belly is something that we look for in employees. The ones that are waiting to prove themselves, they were historically ignored by these big tech companies. They did not get an opportunity to prove themselves in any of these larger tech companies. They still have that fire in them, right? So we actually look for employees with that kind of fire in them. And at no point will anyone actually uh, ridicule us for trying something, right? So our mistakes are not stigmatized at all. We are given enough and more room to actually try out stuff. If something does not work out, there is no one to actually question us. Of course, there is a lot of accountability that is there, but we are never criticized for experimenting at all. And in terms of any new feature, or in terms of going after a certain market segment, or trying something that is completely offbeat or anything like that. So that kind of gives a lot of discretion and autonomy for employees to manage themselves. So all even the kind of managers that we have, they're all like very, very approachable, and then there is enough and more room to grow as well, right, over a period of time. And since we always are at touching distance with our customers, with our partners and everything, so we also get to understand what the market like thinks about us, or thinks about the products and everything like that. So all of this combined has actually like added a lot of like a lot of great things to our organization culture, right? And even the kind of employees that we take, we said we serve the underserved, right? So these are not top flight institutions that we go and recruit our employees from. So these are all mid-sized colleges, bright students, but mid-sized colleges who are willing to put in the hard yards to actually grow. And we've also seen that people from the tier 2, tier 3 towns, right? So who've who've have that fire in them, but like they are very very technically sound, but their communication might not be that great, but still there is an eagerness to prove. So a lot of such employees have done really well. And in our own segment, that the way that you articulate, or the English, it is not does not matter much. So as long as you understand the problem, the customer's problem, the pain points, and then you can solve that. If you can solve real engineering problems, that is all that we expect. And because of that, we have one of the lowest attrition rates in the tech industry as well. So we've had people who have stayed on with us for like 20 years, 22 years, like very very easily, because that's a pretty long time in the IT industry, right? So where generally like people switch companies every 3 or 4 years, like people to just give their entire lives, career or lifetime with a company, that says something about the culture.
It definitely does, Sharath. One last question on the employees' working culture. Is it like a hybrid working environment where they can work from office or they can also work from home, or what's the mix like?
Yes, yes, it is mostly a hybrid working culture. But what we generally ask our employees to come to office, because especially in the knowledge industry or knowledge economy, a lot of it involves collaboration among teams, cross-functional teams, like teams with they have to like coordinate across specific functions within the company, like sales, marketing, legal, etc. And so that's why we always like insist that our employees come to office and work, but there's no hard and fast rule as such. So if they want to work remote, or if they want to work hybrid, we allow that as well.
This would be the last question, Sharath, because we have only 5 minutes to go.
Sure.
Um, on the future direction of the company. Obviously, you've been very clear that you don't need VC money. You are a kind of independent, bootstrapped company. So I'm assuming you're not looking for funding, and at your scale, you also may not need funding. But what's the future like? Is it an acquisition that you're looking for? Is it continuous growth in the same fashion that the founders and the management is looking for? What's the future like for Zoho?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said earlier, the number of new products and everything might come down, but we want to make our suite even more tighter and more integrated, so that customers find even more of a value in using our products. And so we are also investing heavily in compilers and languages, etc. So we don't want to be too dependent on a specific programming language, or all these compilers. So we are coming up with our own compilers as well. So in due course, there will be announcements around that. So all of that will actually help process improvement, right? So the rate at which we launch a new technology or anything like that will completely collapse with all of these new improvements that we are actually making in across all the entire product suite. And we are also investing in other uh, parallel verticals as well. So we are investing in semiconductors, we are investing in chips, we are also investing in medical devices, power tools, and all of that other aspects as well. So we would want to become a completely self-reliant, technologically self-reliant company, and whichever direction that we aim to go, we want to ensure that okay, we, we we pass on complete value, full value to customers, and then they actually see meaning in doing business with us.
Thank you very much, Prath. And once again, you've been very direct and frank in your explanations and the way you give answers. So thank you very much for that. And we are proud to partner with you and your colleagues like Kirti and Zoho as a company. And Doerscircle has Zoho products on our platform. Our members can use Zoho through our platform. Our premium members have a benefit when they use Zoho through us. So we would also welcome our members to check that out. But it's been a privilege to partner with a company like Zoho, and not just the size, but also the philosophy that you have, philosophies you have, the principles that you stand by, and it's definitely uh, a privilege to partner with a company like Zoho. So thank you very much for working with Dual Circle, and also thank you for sharing your views and your ideas, especially the wisdom and knowledge with our community today, and see you on my Dual Circle, Sharath.
Likewise, Ashish. So you've been a great host, and there were some lovely questions from both from you as well as from the audience. And so we are equally happy to be associated with Doerscircle, and we would want all the members of Doerscircle to make use of the Zoho Suite and the collaboration with Doerscircle, and then take full advantage of the benefits that are being given to your member community as well. And we would want the association to go on for a much longer time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support in organizing this, your team, and thanks to Dual Circle team in helping putting this together, and thanks to the participants for joining 0 to 1 again. And we will be back next week as well. Thank you again, everyone. See you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.